What's up, party people? How's it going? I'm back. My name's Ethan. This is, am I right?
Jara.
Are you serious right now, bro? Really?
I've changed. Okay, no. Hi. As you guys know, I'm Nick, as always. And on my right, I have
Dinda.
Dinda. Not dinner. Dinda.
You already had dinner?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Now
Yeah, we just had dinner. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be back. As you guys, we all know that you guys miss Ethan. So, yeah, give us a quick rundown, Ethan. How have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah, what happened to your knee? Everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
I played soccer on very dry grass, and it doesn't look too hot. It's
Yeah.
just the scab and everything.
Yeah, so reminder, guys, wet your grass. So you don't get scabs. All right, because apparently dry grass does that. Anyways, quick one. Just if you guys are wondering, where's Jara today? He felt like he was in every single video, so he wanted to change. Apparently, he doesn't receive enough of love from you guys for all his hard work. So if you're watching this today and you love Jara, just put in the comments, I love Jara. All right?
I love Jara.
I love
heart
Jara.
Jara.
Yeah, as Maverick City would say, Jara.
You are
Wait,
enough.
You are enough.
You are enough, Jara.
You are enough.
Jara,
Yeah.
you are enough. And he will be content
Yes.
under any circumstance.
Yeah. If you want a link to that song, we'll post it right here or down there in the comments and
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Yeah. Maverick City, if you're watching this, sponsor us. We're a big fan
Yeah.
We are.
of Jara. All right. Next, moving on. So, as you guys would know by now, in our title, we will be talking about green lights and red lights.
No,
no?
Green flags and red flags.
Flags.
Okay, we are not
Bruh.
talking about green lights. All right, we're talking about green flags and red flags. I never knew there was green flags. I always thought it was just
In a
red
friendship?
flags.
We're doing it in a
Of
friendship.
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 Oh, sorry. Yeah, red flags and green flags. This is why Jara does this. All right, this is
green
why
flag and red flag is green flags and red flags in a friendship.
our friendship.
That's the topic. We got that at the end.
Yeah, this is why we need Jara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're going downhill now. But anyways, it was a pretty interesting topic that Adinda brought up. She obviously had a few in mind. So we're just going to share our opinions. Like I said, it's an opinion. So if you don't agree, cool. But if you do agree, also cool. But let us know your thoughts as well. If you had any other thoughts about this as you hear us talk about it, make sure as always DM us if you want to have a further conversation, or just chuck a comment as well if you feel like it, because you don't want to pressure you into doing it, except for the I love Jara one. Please do that if you do support Jara and his hard work. But anyways, moving on. So Dinda, since it was a topic that you had in mind, let's start with red flags first or green first.
Okay. Let's first start defining green flags, red flags.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a good one.
Will we agree that red flags are deal breakers? In terms of that's a bit of a caution, a bit of a.
I wouldn't really
not
say
sure.
deal breakers,
Yeah. I
but
would say
they're just warnings, things that I feel like you need to pay attention to.
Yep.
Like alarm bells, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
okay, cool. It's just certain
gotta be
warnings that
careful with
maybe that should not be. That's not good.
Okay. So then green flags are. Yep, that's good. I like
Yeah.
that. Yes
Yeah.
and
Sorry, guys,
amen.
my hay fever's hitting me really bad. I think it's all these plants, man. Yo,
Oh, that's
my
actually-
eyes
yeah,
are
'cause-
wet. I mean,
Do you need
dry.
tissues?
No, it just hurts. All right, I'm going to
Okay.
try to survive because I'm tearing up.
Aw.
Dude, this.
It's got deep real quick.
Yeah, bro, yo, those plants. Dude,
Okay.
those
Here
plants
comes
are
the
not good.
tissues.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, I'm ready. Anyway, keep going. Don't let me distract you. Anyone watching this? Sorry.
So yeah, green
Where are
flags
we?
are a good thing that you should look out
Yeah.
for in a
Yeah,
friendship.
the things
so.
that you value in your friendship, I
100%.
guess. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's start. So, green or red?
Let's
start
go
with
green.
Green first. All right. Here
So
we go.
wait, has there ever been a situation where you've like talked to a friend or had an experience with a friend and just be like, damn, I really appreciate you being a friend. Like,
Yeah.
and that aspect, they're a green flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was your experience, Dinda?
I guess I start with like how like some of my girlfriends would really like put aside time and efforts, not just like when they're comfortable, like they're in a comfortable situation, but when they really like have to put aside things and to appreciate me, and like to also have these communication of like boundaries. So even when like they're really busy or like they can't be available at that moment, they would actually communicate that like, sorry, like I'm just gonna get like like not do not have the capacity to like listen to you at the moment, but yeah, like I still love you anyways. And I think that's such a hard thing to say to a friend.
Yeah.
And it's like that one of the things that like it's a bit uncomfortable, but sometimes you just need to let that out. So you don't be resentful, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So they were very authentic and very real with you, even though it's uncomfortable. That's true. Yeah.
That's pretty good. What about you, Ethan?
I think with guys, I feel like it's harder to kind of see their soft side when it comes to a guy-guy relationship. It's like,
do you guys have guy friends who you can actually talk like heart to heart with? Like,
100%. Yeah, I definitely can. Like, I think when it comes to like school friends, it's a little bit harder to like get into like the nitty gritty of like Christianity and really just talking about struggles. But I think when you have like I think Christian like friends is kind of easier, I feel. But to answer your question, Nick, probably like when you're able just to have a very deep conversation with them and talk about very uncomfortable things. So like I think having very uncomfortable conversation and being like, hey, I really need you here, and them reciprocating and understanding how you're going through.
Yeah.
I think empathy is a huge one.
Agree.
Like with just a guy relationship and any girl relationship as well. Just being being in a relationship or like a friendship with someone, definitely you need to understand that they're not always gonna reciprocate or always gonna show love all the time, and expecting it is I find that it's kind of selfish, but at the same time, you have to give back what you expect as well. So it's like if they're really empathetic for me that I'm not replying and I'm not hanging out with them, then I also have to be quite understanding that they might not be doing okay, so I have to be okay that they might not be there for me as well. But I think that's probably one. Yeah.
Damn, that's very deep. I mean, you guys went deep real fast. I was just going to say people you can have a good time with.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I feel like that sometimes is... I mean, it can be taken into a lot of like... how do you say? Interpretations, right? For what a good time is. For someone, it's drugs, together. Honestly. Some people is drinking a lot. Some people playing games. But I think for you, it's just... someone that you can have a good time with is always a green flag, I think. It doesn't need to be like super deep and best friends all the time. But I think what I mean by a good time is someone that you are able to be yourself around. You're not worried about them judging you. Like even you have bands and stuff like that, but you know that this person generally like
accepts
you for who you are, and you want to just have a good time. You can either banter, drink, do whatever you want. But you always feel safe with that person. I feel like that is, like for me a really green flag like that. If I look for in a friend, that's what it is. Because I don't want to not be myself or to be able to express myself around people that may not like it and stuff, And if like I feel like, everything I do or everything I say will annoy the people around me, then, that's kind of like awkward. And then I will not be the person who I am.
Yeah, and that's going to be tiring.
Yeah, it's tiring, right? It puts effort, and then you just won't have a good time, and you wouldn't want to hang out with them. So I think for me, a big part of it is, just being able to have a generally good time with people and just being yourself. Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Do you have any more, Dinda?
Yeah, but I just want to make a quick comment first of what Ethan said. I don't think it's selfish when you expect like a reciprocation of like, because it's a friendship. It's also like relationship. It's a two-way thing, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's selfish to expect.
Do you think that it will always be equal, or will one friend always require more?
That's a good question.
Like, okay, so I think selfish is a very dark
Hard.
word for like green flag, especially. But what I mean by that is like, I think for me, my season this year was actually just sorting out friendships and like, and having the really like uncomfortable conversation and being like, hey, like, are you gonna be there for me? And it feels like a really like unnecessary conversation for some people, but it is actually quite necessary to be able to take that one awkward, because I feel like awkward memories are memories that you remember. Okay, that's it's true. Like everyone has cringy memories that they're like once in a while. So in that conversation, I really remember it, and we both, I think, like stood by that memory and just know that, hey, you know, this season, like we're gonna be there for each other. It doesn't matter like of the little things that we may not talk every day, but we can stand by that. So I think for me, I had to get over the fact that, you know, he like, I guess like wasn't there sometimes, and he may be going through things, and I guess I got hurt by it, like even though we didn't talk about it. So I think like I talked to a lot of people and they were like, yeah, it's like that's life. Life is gonna be where like you're gonna expect things, but they're not gonna come. And in a friendship, I just find that like at some point, sometimes you're doing 80 and they're doing like 20. And then like the next week, they could be doing like 90 for you and you're doing 10. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be this and that. But I will say a friendship cannot last if you're just doing 90 the whole like year through. There's no way you're doing 90, like putting in so much effort and them not reciprocating. At that point, you're just honestly just carrying and they're just there for the ride. And they're just not gonna lie now. Because at some point, it's like, there has to be something. Otherwise, yeah. Like,
but do you feel like sometimes, let's say for yourself with all of that, do you think that that is a realistic or a fair expectation that you would have on all your friends?
no. I don't think it's... Wait. No, meaning I don't think it's a fair expectation. Yeah, I think I said about that. I was like confused.
Okay, why?
I think different friendships require different like perspectives. So if I'm going to a relationship with like my coworker, let's say, I'm going to be expecting, you know, I'm going to do the heavy lifting a little bit. I want to make that effort. You know what I mean? And if they reciprocate, even better. You know what I mean? But I think when you really know it's a friendship, come on, you both know your friends. Like going to primary school, you'll be like, oh, like, hey, you want to be my best friend? And then the other kid will be like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? And that's when you know, let's be friends. But then when we're older, it's just so hard, right? There's no that, oh, are we actually friends or anything? It's more of the actions that matter now. So in saying that, it's like, I kind of expect my non-Christian friend to be just as deep as me with my Christian friend. It's like each relationship has different things that you have to consider. And I think it is going kind of out of it, but it goes down to support groups as well. It's like, do you have people that back you up, that like, you know, you may be going into a relationship and reaching out to someone who's maybe has like 5 red flags, but at least you know that there are 5 people behind you that are all green flags to you that are there for you and empathetic, have all the good qualities that you want to be able to go out to people who do have red flags. Yeah, if we're relating it back to the topic.
Yeah, sure. No worry.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Adinda?
Yeah. I think I agreed with Ethan. Like, it's not something that is like one size fits all in terms of friendships. Like different circle of friends, I feel like there are different dynamics sometimes, and which is fine. It doesn't really like define that, oh, it's not a, you know, like it's not a deep friendship kind of thing, but it's just, it's just different and it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think your question was, do you think like it's supposed to be always balanced? Was that your question?
No,
like,
I think it's just an expectation of like, you know, your friends knowing like, oh, you need space or you shouldn't or you're going through this or that.
Yeah.
Like, because I guess sometimes like that's something that I notice when I hear or when I like talk to the youths that we have about like friendships, right? Or people going through friendship stuff. Like a lot of the times you hear people go like, this person is not reciprocating the same amount as me, you know? Like, oh, this guy doesn't care about me. He's off doing this, off doing that. And sometimes when I sit there, the question that always comes to mind for me was like, is it fair to put all your expectations that you want of a friend on them? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. It may not be the person. Yes, maybe it is fair to have to a certain extent, but how much of that is you compared to you knowing the person that is your friend?
Yeah. I think and I think that's why understanding, like empathy and understanding really play a role, because you can't really like, for example, you have a friend. I don't know why I'm laughing because I don't know if like
Josh filling up a cup of water.
the water. I was just like, is it going to be recorded?
Yeah,
Anyway,
anyways.
where was I?
It's white noise.
Yeah. So I think like even sometimes there are things that our friends go through and we can't really understand because we're not really in their shoes.
Of course. Yep.
But one of the things that I really value, like from my friends, is the fact that like they just acknowledge where I was at. Like they don't always try to fix things. Like they don't always try to like, dismiss my emotions, or how like some people just kind of dismiss emotions to make them feel better.
Yeah.
And like, you know what, like giving all these solutions. But I really appreciate my friends who like try, and it's not something that we always get at the first time. Like sometimes like I know that myself, there was a time that I was that person, like I really want to help my friends, so I try to like give all these advices or like things like that, while actually my friends just needed someone to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I just thought of another green flag. I think for me, I really appreciate friends that if they generally care about friendship, and if they had an issue with me, that they would just bring it up with me. Because I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
I may say something or do something that in the moment may have, irritated you, for example.
Yep.
But to me, it may be in like a joke or maybe like in the moment thing, so I may not notice it. And then instead of telling me, if you hold it like to yourself and then eventually we drift, I would never know what happened.
Yeah.
And we see that so many times, right? With people around us, this guy hurt me. But then I was like, do you ever tell them? Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think that that's something that as I grow older, that's something that I really cherish now in a friend, because as you grow older, you're not going to have a lot of friends, all right? You don't have the time to just entertain everybody, but the friends that really care about you and about the friendship, if you do like have issues, like they feel like you're drifting, you're not reciprocating, or that you may have said something that irritated them, they will eventually just bring it up to you because they care about fixing the friendship, so you're good.
Yeah.
Because if you don't bring it up, you're going to end up hating one another,
Yep.
or the one person's going to end up hating the other, and then you just never know why. And that happens so much. So I think like as I grow up now, like I realize the importance of just if you have an issue, let your mate know, because
communication.
That person may take it bad and you may drift, but if that person was generally your mate, he will eventually see it and come back to you, and then you'll be good mates again. It may take time, but that's just just like a relationship, a friendship is the same. You just need to talk about it.
Having the
Definitely
hard
communication.
conversations.
Oh, 100%.
But do you think like how do people actually learn that? Let's say like if like we're talking about the youth, right? Let's say.
Okay, yeah.
Like, and they don't have this, because one of the things that I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really have the bravery or the courage to have those kind of hard conversations and like, hey, I actually think that really hurt me. Like there's this fear of rejection, or like fear of like, oh man, like you gotta relax. So like, why are you so like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you pass through that?
Okay, so for me, I feel like this is just to me because of my personality, how I am. I always look at it as, does this person matter to me? Do I value this friendship? If I do, I will make sure that yes, even if it like I'm the one getting irritated, I will find a way to bring it up. And I feel like how I bring it up is important. Not like, hey, you did this, piss me off. But I would bring him in a way it's like, hey, like, because you're a really good friend, I just want you to know this happened. And it just really got to me, and I don't want it to get to me. I want us to be good. And I just want to let you know, things like that. But obviously, like, I understand for some people, it can be quite intimidating because you don't know how the person's going to react. Or you don't want to lose a mate. For me, in that instance, honestly, I don't really have the answer. I think for my opinion, if I was too afraid, I will make sure that I just, honestly, let it go. If I'm not going to, because for me, in my mind, right, the way I think, if I'm not going to do anything about it, then don't think about it, because then it's going to be in your mind and circled. I understand not everyone's like that, but that's just how I'm wired. So honestly, to answer that, that's the only way I really have. Or, this is also going to sound really harsh, value yourself. Okay, like, no, generally,
I
right?
think there's a little magic in that one.
No, generally, like, you have a certain value. You can't let people mistreat you
100%,
like that, right?
100%.
Especially if it's a mate, because one, if they keep saying that it keeps hurting you, you're gonna keep devaluing yourself. You know, like you hold certain value into that friendship too.
Yeah.
So like just know that it takes two to be friends. You know, you can't be friends with one like yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can, but that's just nah.
Definitely.
So I would say like, if that's the case, like you need to find some value like in yourself. Know like, hey, you're worth it. That you're worth being mates with.
Yeah.
And if that person honestly throws off because of one small conversation, then maybe that's a red flag. You know? But that's just my thoughts. I could just be super strong in terms of my point of view in this.
Yeah.
But Ethan, do you have anything to add to that? Or how would you do that?
I think going off your value one is huge. I think it's massive because I think as youth and just like going into uni, people like a lot of struggles I find is that people don't have a friend group and they feel like they're not in a group. Because I feel like a lot of people rely on their friends for their life to be good, okay, and everything. It's true. It's actually very true. Like, honestly, like, relying on friends and everything is very good. But at the same time, I see it as like people will be like, oh, this is a friend I can lean on and everything. But, like, you need to reflect it. It's like, oh, can I be a friend they lean on to now? And I think that's value. Like, when you value yourself and you understand, hey, like, not only am I, like, relying myself on them, but they can also rely on me, then it's like a huge game changer kind of thing. Because like when you have those hard conversations, especially for youth, the biggest thing is like intention. If you're going into a harsh conversation just to be able to get back at the person, clearly you don't care about it. You just care about getting back at them. And it's from a place of hate and not really love for the person. But in saying that, hard conversations and the fear of rejection is very real. And you have to be accepting of a rejection. Because I feel like if you have a hard conversation and it ends up being rejection but you have an intention of love, then clearly they're not seeing where you're coming from and clearly they're not seeing the love that you are outputting. So in saying that, let's say I have a hard conversation with Nick and be like, hey Nick, I really don't like how you treated me at that party last week. I think that it really destroyed my feelings, and I think that you kind of exposed me and said information that you didn't really have the right to say. That's fair. Once again, you're valuing your feelings, and you're not dismissing it, right? It's coming from a place where you value yourself. But at the same time, you're just letting him know, hey, there's boundaries to this, and it's coming out of love. And let's say Nick is like, dude, it's no big deal, man. Then they are pushing away your feelings, and they're not understanding that you, like, there's value in that.
Yeah.
And then, but if he's like, oh, hey, like, my bad, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. It's a hard word to say. Saying I'm sorry is a very hard word to say, and I found that it's very hard for me to say sometimes. But in saying that, it's understanding. And it's very understanding of the person. And it's very, they're understanding it. Yeah.
No, I think that's good. But I think, like, I agree with it. But I think the important part for you guys to take away, so we don't drift too far from this, is like, to how you do it and your tone is super important.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Like
100%.
if you came up to me halfway to a party, it's like, bro, just have a drink, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Chill out, man.
Exactly. That's
But,
time
like,
and place.
If you know your mate, right? If I
Yeah.
know that Ethan is a little bit more sensitive, is a little bit softer, I would take him like maybe for like a coffee or something, and then I would talk to him that way.
Yeah.
Because he may because some people might not even see what they did was wrong, and they don't really understand it.
Yep.
And that's why they won't say sorry, right?
Exactly.
So then they would just need a discussion. It's like, okay, why did that hurt you? How?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know your own mates, you know how to do it, but just be sensitive. I think the biggest thing is don't come across as if like they're wrong.
Blaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know,
100%.
One of the
Yeah.
one of the techniques that I learn is always try to like put the eyes instead of like you did this blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah, but
Yeah.
like I felt like I
Yeah.
was blah blah blah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you
and how
go,
you feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know?
that person
Yeah.
feel.
Like
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I guess that's just a nice little green flag, red
Yeah.
flag kind of thing. But any more green flags before we move on to red? Anyone that really stands out for you guys? Jared's
Actually
looking- yeah, Jared's
happy-
looking funny. Do you want to say something, Jared? Do
Yeah.
you want to pop in?
I feel like
Okay, he wants to pop in. He can't stay away, guys. He felt the love from the comments that are not coming yet.
Can they see you from the job?
Yeah, no, they don't need to see me. Hey guys, it's me. So we're still on green flags.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's kind of.
It sounded like you guys were going into red flags and
No,
stuff.
we're going into that, but it is going green.
Okay. Well, I'll be quick. Okay, I'm not supposed to be here. All right. So a green flag for me. I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned it. I mean, I was following along, but would be probably like they support what you do. Because you know the thing is, like, some of us, we go out and we have like for example, Nick has floorball and he has his own ambitions. He's leading a youth group and stuff like that. And then Ethan's a kinetic lead. Ooh, he's a youth leader. Sorry, no names. And then, you know, Dinda's doing her own thing too. She's like coming out of Jakarta. She's here in Perth. You know, like you need friends that can like, I guess support you in a way that, like, for example, myself with Fresh Goods, like, you know, people can talk to you about Fresh Goods, but oh, how's it going, right? But like, you need friends that would actually support you or like actually see some like value in what you do.
Yeah.
I think that's a green flag. When you have friends that can see the hard work you put into things and respect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. That's my green flag.
Nice.
All right, back to you.
You had your hand up at Tinder?
Did you see that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I mean,
Everyone
we
saw
all
that.
saw that.
Everyone saw that.
No, I was about to say like to be happy with your like friend success.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
huge.
'Cause, you know,
that's
yeah.
a big one, I think. Because
Massive.
before Jar brought it up, that was actually my last green that I had. Like, I think that's something that throughout my life, I think I thought I had it, like friends that would do that. But I think now, being in the season I'm in with my current friends and everything, I really got to see what support from friendships really looked like.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously now with Fresh Goods, where Jar and I are at, you know, Jar's putting a lot of work in, and we are growing thanks to all of you, but we're not at the place where we want it to be yet. But then in these moments, what we cherish is just the people around us, the friends that constantly like encourage us and support us, right? And we got a lot of friends that also say stuff, but then they wouldn't, you know. But I get it. But at the same time, it's like it's not always about sharing your stuff and posting. But I think it's about the little comments, like, "Hey, I know you're working hard." Like,
Yeah.
encouragement, supporting, giving ideas, things like that. It's always good because we see it all the time, right? One big thing, because like, you know, one of my girlfriends, she's doing like social media stuff. She always says one big thing is collaborating and sharing and doing all this stuff. But
Even
you
just
see
offering
friends
help.
of yourself that would do that for everyone else, but not you. It's as if that, like what you said, they don't want you to succeed, almost because they feel like, you know, you shouldn't be on their same, like the same level as them, or they should be high, stuff like that. It all comes in. And for me, that is a huge red flag. If they are like that, like if they can't be happy for you
Huge.
or want you to do well. Because it just shows that it's not genuine, right? It's a little bit selfish, or it's just, it's not there. And I think that when you guys manage to find friends that are able to just generally be happy for you and what you're doing and your success, I think keep hold of that friend, because it's hard to be genuine these days when it's so easy just to share and say things. It's super easy to comment super nice stuff for random people, right? But when was the last time you commented for someone that you know and supported them? It's very rare. I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I did. Actually, no, I sent a message to Jar. I did. Yeah, nice, recently. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to add on in terms of the green flag. Any last thoughts?
I think for me, I think when you really know you have a true friend is a friend that like probably challenges you.
Yeah.
I think challenging in a way where, let's say, I don't like, for me a red flag is a yes man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Person that just always says yes to everything. And just
they are
like,
kind of
"Yep,
nice to have
that's good.
sometimes though.
Yep, that toxic relationship you're in, that's good and everything. Like, that's not it. You know what I mean? I want to, like, if I go to a friend with an issue, I want them to be able to give another perspective.
Yeah.
And possibly a better perspective. So if I'm coming in quite emotional and quite heated, they're able to be able to give me, just calm me down and just be able to, challenge me in a different way and looking at it in a different way. So I think, just to be able to help you, just if anything smaller, like the gym, let's say, to be able to like go with them and them challenging you to maybe do more weight, maybe do more, hey, like, you're getting kind of fat, bro. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. It's uncomfortable, but it's challenging. And that's when you know you have a true friend, that they're not only looking out for you, but they're also looking out for your well-being and everything. They'll be able to challenge you in every aspect of life, whether it be a Christian walk or anything.
Yeah.
Just to be able to push you, even though it's uncomfortable, but that's when you know that it's real. It's coming from a place of love and everything. So challenging
That's
behaviors. But we can move on to
All right,
red
cool.
flags.
Red flags. All right, Adina, why don't you take it away?
Sorry, I was distracted because of the cues. Because of the cues.
News, bro.
I am a new, bruh.
All right,
Red flags. I think when like they only come to you to complain about life.
oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's just a very like bad energy, and like they're just treating you like a trash can kind of thing. Like, because we want to have like friendship is so much. Yeah, you can rant obviously, but like it's so much more than just complaining. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
if-
Yeah.
I was
I
about
thought
to,
you
like-
had more. It
Yeah.
sounded like you
No, it's
had
like-
thought really deep into this, you know? Now we don't have to worry about
Well,
time.
we start with that first, and
Okay,
then, you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I never really thought about it that way, but I guess it's the same thing like what I said before about the whole value thing. If a friend like really devalues you or pretty much uses you as a backup plan,
Ooh.
you know, that you know, like they always say, oh yeah, my plan's canceled, do you want to hang out? It's like, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, or they will only come in moments. I think that's one thing that I realized over these years that I noticed just a lot through a lot of people's conversations that I have or experiences myself. Friends that always seem very good are like, you know, they're there in the moments, but they're not really there when you really like need it or throughout. There's no consistency. You know what I mean? It's like when you are in the spotlight, they're there. And then when you're not, it's like they're not there. You know, and I think for me, like consistency in the friendship is quite important. And I'm not saying hang out a lot. Some friends can not talk for like 2 years or 3 years and still be held tight.
It's not
I
about the
believe that's
frequency.
possible, but it's about like just consistent in how they are with you. I think that's super important, you know. Like, do you find that if you don't hang out, then they're like smack talking you behind your back to
Yeah.
other people? Like you said, they only come in when they want to complain about stuff and things like that. Like, not really valuing the friendship in that sense. And you, but yeah, Ethan?
I think it's respect. I think, like, if a person doesn't respect you, and to respect, I think where it comes from is like respect for, let's say, a house, something as small as that. Like, some people get very comfortable. Like, honestly, I like genuinely though. Like, some people, maybe it's just an Asian thing, but like, if like, let's say I tell a person to be able to, like, oh, just say hi to my parents, and they can't do that, then I think they're not really respecting, you know, me and respecting like my culture and my, just in general. So I think to be able to converse with someone, we both have to be respectful of each other, each other's space.
That's very specific, man.
Yeah, it's very
Okay,
specific, but I think it's very valid
Yeah.
for each like relationship, right? Like, let's say I'm going out to be friends with a non-Christian and everything. You gotta respect their views, right?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
I can't get too comfortable and be like, yo, yours is wrong.
Yeah.
That's a wrong thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I generally think like what you said. It's just it's important to communicate with your friends because there's stuff like that is not to say very specific, but I would say some people that grew up differently, different cultures
Yeah.
may not
Yeah.
have the same understanding as what you have.
Yeah.
and like what you said was good, but then it's like how you would communicate with your mate.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Or
Yeah.
like how you know your mate.
Yeah.
is very important as well.
Yeah, and also like you can be the closest friend with someone, but also just respecting their space either way.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the right to know everything about them.
Yeah.
So like respecting, like, you know, their privacy. So like, let's say something as small as like not like telling them about a party that's happening. You know what I mean? Like, you could not involve you at all or anything, but you just need to respect that they just didn't tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not being angry or anything, but also just be like, okay, that's how it
Yeah.
is. And like,
Yeah.
if they're going through a hard time, you're just like pushing them, like, oh, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you good? Like, why aren't you telling me I'm your best friend and everything? You need to respect that. You need to respect
Yeah.
whatever he's going through, maybe private, maybe family and everything.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
respect whole way around. And I think in a boy and girl friendship, that's even more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you would show just as much respect.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a really big one that I never realized was a big thing till quite recently, where I really find it a red flag, or it really gets me when people guilt trip you into being friends with them. I like a pity friendship always. They're like, oh, I have no friends, you know, like, oh, no one wants to be friends with me. Oh, okay, we'll hang out. I see that so much, like a lot now to think about it, or even back then, you know, like when we were at our old youth and you just hear about people talking like that. And I feel that comes back to the value thing that I have is like, yo, boys and girls, you have value, okay? You don't have to put yourself down to that level so that people will be friends with you. Because I feel like, yes, there will be nice enough people that will give you the attention and that love that you need. But I feel like it's almost manipulating in a way
Yeah.
to do it like that because it's just, I don't know, like everybody has value. You have value, you know, like you don't need to go around guilt tripping people to be your friend. I get it. Some people or some of us may be struggling with certain issues in terms of identity or self or insecurities and things, I understand. But it's just more so to be careful into using that as something of a way to be able to manipulate others into, giving yourself more value or kind of guilt tripping others to become your mate, because I feel like it's not healthy. And it becomes very hard, because where I've seen it is because when you do that, right? And then like what Ethan was kind of saying before, you start like noticing, oh man, they have other friends. They're hanging out with other people.
Yeah.
Then you go, oh, don't worry about me. No one cares. You just hang out with them because I reckon they're just more fun anyways. Like it doesn't matter. And then it's like, bruh, this is a very awkward situation. It's like so hard. And it's like, bruh, you don't gotta be like that. Like, people are allowed to have different friends. People are allowed to meet other people. You don't own them, Like, sorry, sounded a little bit passionate as I am. Because we've seen it happen so much. I don't know why. We come from, when in our old youth, it's like predominantly Asian youth group, right? And I see it a lot in Asian kids. And I don't know, is it because culturally of how we are brought up at home or how we are as people? Because in Asian culture in the past, like, or from where I grew up or what I've seen around me, values in terms of self-value and stuff, it's not very high up there. It's all about just doing this, studying that. And obviously all these feelings and stuff get suppressed, and it comes off very differently because we don't get that interaction with a lot of people. And I can understand where this comes from, but I don't know, that's just a big one for me, like just manipulating in terms of that guilt tripping, because like I shouldn't feel guilty hanging out with different people, because in the back of my head it's like, oh, this person's gonna be sad because they have no one, because then you start relying on other people. You only start going to things when other people go. Hey, if Ethan doesn't go to church, I ain't gonna go to church, because I can't be alone, no one wants to be my friend. That kind of stuff, I find that super manipulative, which is not right, because I don't think it's right for the people, because they just might be genuine people, puts them in an awkward position, but also for yourself, that you're not growing and you're not learning that, hey, you are someone worth being friends with, you have value, like you should be comfortable in who you are and the people around you. And you don't need guilt trip anyone, because it's not healthy, and you're just going to form your identity on these people. And it's not right. Then you would just be trapped, and then one day when they move on, or if they have other friends, it will put you in a bigger hole. So that's just a big red flag for me. Sorry, that was a little bit passionate. But
that's all right.
Do anything?
I think I was just thinking of, like, other than guilt tripping, I think another red flag is like when that friend is too dependent on you. What you said in the example, how like, oh, if they don't do that, then I don't want to do that. If they do this, okay, I'll do that with them. Because then it's like, who are you really, kind of thing. Like it sometimes I feel like there's a time that I see, even sometimes maybe I was in that place for a bit, like I kind of define myself with my friendship, or like see how I like value myself the way how my friends see me. I think that's like not a good place to be, and an unhealthy way to like define yourself. And I think a lot of times when I was younger, or like when I see like in high school and all that, a lot of people kind of got into that trap.
I think, honestly, like thinking about it, probably like a red flag is the other person not having more friends. To be completely honest, like I feel like the value of multiple different support groups and friends is not very known with youth, because it's very set, right, in high school and everything. But when you leave high school, you just start to realize, like, okay, I have a cell, I have my family, and you know what, like my work is also a support group. You know what I mean? So then you start realizing that, hey, like my identity, at the end of the day, your identity is true. It shouldn't be based on one or two people, but like the things you pick up from other people, it's like, it's all like, it makes you who you are. And I think that doesn't make you a carbon copy of everyone, but that makes you unique in terms of your different combination of all these different people. So I think, honestly, like, you need that. And I think a lot of people need to realize that like, if you're okay with your friend group now, you should be stepping out and doing more, and like getting to know your coworkers. And maybe you'll find out that, hey, like maybe in my Christian group, I'm not having as much like fun, or like I want to try new things, right? Sometimes like like some groups just can't do are not interested
Yeah.
in certain things,
Yeah,
right?
just not interested in certain
exactly.
things.
So that's where like in a light way you go to another group and be like, hey, you want to try this and everything. Doesn't make you not friends of everyone, but it just makes you unique in a way that you can do different things. And I think honestly, like having multiple friends and different things doesn't mean you're popular or anything, but it just truly means that you're stepping out. And I think
Yeah.
and yeah, like honestly in a friendship, like I just think of just like really deep or anything, but like how Jesus kind of like interacted with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He came down, he didn't come to be served. He came to serve, kind of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's like he didn't expect anything else from us. So like why? Like how can we embody that? Which is like go out and like
Yeah.
not expect anything else, but to be able to be like a lighthouse for everyone, just to be able to point them not
Yeah.
me but somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I think
It's good.
honestly that's like the basis of like seriously like God. And doesn't mean God didn't have any. Jesus didn't have any friends. My brother got 12 people with him. You know what I mean? Like roaming around, like having a good
Quality
time.
over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like seriously, like it's so easy, and it's like right there, and we're just not seeing it. We're getting into the nitty gritty. Like, oh, this guy just wasn't there. Like, you weren't there for my league game, man. Like, seriously, it's like, all right, get over it. Like, there's bigger things and better things to like get to. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's truly my basis on like friendship and everything. Like, yeah, like seriously, like.
Yeah.
Go to church, yeah.
Because I have something, but I felt like I've spoken a lot from that passion.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just giving another perspective of like, because I kind of had seasons in like, for example, I was in Melbourne for a bit and then I came back to Jakarta in a time where like I was totally in a different season with like my friends. So I had to like make my own friends in where I was in that season, which was like I was an intern and like my friends were all still in uni and all that. And I think it's very important to also remember that sometimes like friends come in seasons, don't mean that you're not loyal, but there are just some friends that are given in that season. And when like we go into like a different season and we kind of somehow drifted apart, maybe because of like distance, because I like a lot of my like close friends from high school are actually now spread around. Like one is in the UK, one is in Bangkok, and it doesn't mean that it's like, oh, we're not close anymore and bye-bye. But it's just, it's just seasons. And it's funny how like even when there are distance and, you know, we're in different seasons, we don't have to talk, like we don't even FaceTime every month, honestly.
Yeah.
But when we actually need someone, because they've been the ones who like witnessed us since like high school, seen our growth and seen like the things that we've been through. And like, you know, it's just good to actually have friends who can, you know, we have conversation and we pick up where we left off, kind of thing.
No, that's true. The season thing is like crazy true. Because like you could be like sticking with your group like for high school, right? And then you come to uni and you're like, there's so much more new things. And like when there's a friend in season, man, I feel like God really just puts them and just like gives you like what you need. Like sometimes. So I think, like honestly, get loose. Like honestly, like seasons will come. I feel like you're gonna have different friends. Like
Guys, get loose.
do you know how like we think it's crazy that like there's a couple that's gone through high school and everything? It's true. Like it's crazy that they've gone through that many seasons and they're still going. You know what I mean? But I think the reality is that that's not gonna be the case all the time. And I think like they're different people for different times. Who knows? Like I could have a totally different friend group when it comes to my marriage or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
and it doesn't
totally
mean
different.
that the friendship has to have a breakup. You know what I mean?
Legit.
Like it's not like we're like, okay, break up kind of thing.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
just-
that.
Yeah.
I feel that, you know?
But it's not a breakup. It's just like we drifted apart, but we're still in good terms.
Like you still mean the same to me,
Yeah.
but I understand
Yeah.
that we're like
Yeah.
in different.
I mean, history's
I'm
done.
passionate again, you know. But yeah, nah, I agree. Sorry to cut you off, but do you have anything? Yeah, I think for me, like another big one is people that make the friendship about them. I know we kind of talked about it, but it's always about literally them, you know? Why you don't hang out with me? Okay, cool. Have you asked me to hang out? Nope. Okay, cool. You know, like, or like, oh, they only, like you said, only talk when they need to rant, drift, like say something, right? And it kind of pulls you down almost. Like it's not really, they're not supporting you. Yeah, they might be in certain areas, you know, like if you invite them or stuff like that, but a lot of it is about them, how they're doing, what they want to do, how are you supporting them, you know? And then if you don't, they'll be like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I think that for me is a huge red flag because, well, they just don't really care, right? You are there to support them,
Yep.
but they're not here to support you or grow with you. I think that is super big for me. But I think coming back to what you said, I think this is a big one that I read this thing and I saw it, and it kind of like, I thought it was really good. So this person, if you're listening, you shouldn't be worried about losing friends, because not all friendships are meant to be with you for your whole life, like you guys said. Some are, some aren't.
Yep.
You know, it's like friendships, if you look at it from an analogy standpoint, it's like a rocket, right? I don't know whether you've seen this. When you're a rocket and you go higher into like the sky, higher altitudes, boosters and things like fall off. Oh, either you laugh, you probably read this or saw this as well.
Yeah.
I think it was a pastor, I think.
Okay.
And he was saying that like when the higher you go, the boosters fall off. And that's kind of like friendships, right? Some people just can't take, the levels and the altitude that you're going, and they fall off. It's not a bad thing. They helped you get to where you are, but for where you're going, they're just not meant to be there with you. You're just meant to keep going because they can't keep up, or they're just not for that season that you're going to be in, which is space or next, wherever you go. And I think that is super like big, because if you lose friends or you feel like people are going away and you're drifting, it's not always a bad thing. Like what we said, God puts people in your life in certain seasons where you will need certain people.
Yep.
And because if you're best friends with every single person that you've met since you're a kid till now, you have no time for yourself or anything or anyone. And you'll be so worried about pleasing everybody that you will eventually crumble. Like you can't generally have strong, deep friendships with everybody, even if you wanted to, because it's hard, and everyone's time is different, everyone's commitment is different. But yeah, that's all I really want to say. All right, I'm good.
That's facts, bro. That's a little bit of magic for you.
Yeah.
No, I hella like that, because I have heard that one. But I think it was kind of funny. I think that was a comment, and then it was like, to take that a step further, it's like realizing that sometimes you're the booster. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta realize that, like in that thing, like it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm the rocket. It's about me, right? But then sometimes you gotta realize, like, like in another world, in another friendship, it's like, if it's about them,
You're the booster for them.
I gotta be the
rocket.
booster for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, self-realization is crazy, and honestly, I think it's you realizing that it's okay to be second best when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
You can't always be the number one. Like, I know a lot of competitive people, but I think honestly, being okay with being second and being happy for them, it's just like another level where like nowadays people are realizing it. Like nowadays people are being like, hey, like these people won't be the people they are today without this actor or this person. You know what I mean? And I think it's just
Everyone has their own cheerleaders. Yeah.
100%.
And I agree. I think that's the big one. Like, you have to realize that, you're not always the rocket, right? You are sometimes that booster that you need for a friend, like for their rocket journey. It's important for you to know that. And I think it comes back to what I think you said, you, Ethan, that like your identity should not be in that friendship.
Yeah.
Because if it is, then obviously when that person leaves you, you will get so destroyed. That you will just feel so insecure about yourself, and you feel like you got nothing.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That rocket ship metaphor going crazy.
Yeah.
If you think you are that booster, you're gonna fly down with them, man. That rocket ain't gonna go high.
Yeah.
Damn,
and
bro.
like at the same time, right? Like it's important, because let's say if you were that booster, right, for that person's rocket, and you're out of juice, you're just extra weight pulling him down,
Damn.
And that's when, like I said, the whole selfish thing, right?
Yeah.
You are thinking by yourself that you pull other people down with you. And I think, but that's more like a self thing. We here talk about other friends, but in terms of that, I feel like that's a big one. I think it's just, put your identity in yourself, like know who you are, know your value, so that you don't get destroyed when someone says, maybe we're not as close or just as good as mates anymore. Like, be content with who you are, because we believe God made you special. Oh,
Wow.
So good.
as you can tell, Christmas is coming. I'm in a giving mood.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about we end up with like a little challenge, a little tip for other people going forward.
Challenge, bro. This
I don't
is
know,
so good, man.
I feel
Okay.
like in their friendships, I guess.
Yeah.
You could be like, go right now and tell your friend you love them.
Okay. All right. In
Send
one
your second
sentence, what would you say in one sentence to everybody that made it to this point?
You're a real friend.
Yes.
You're a green flag right here.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, if you had to give them one thing to go, what would you say? Just a quick one. No one? All right. I'll go first while they think. I would say, honestly, for me, just I built it up. I actually had it and then I lost it. Jar has
I
one.
got Jar going. Let's
See,
go.
Jar can't help but being in it, you know?
I got one liner that I got from TikTok. It's pretty good. All right, so
But you
it's
should be in it, right? If not, they just...
that's
hear
cool. It's whatever.
He's
Okay, fine.
above.
Actually, no, I can't be bothered moving it. But it's be yourself, because the people that matter don't mind, and the people that mind don't matter. There you go.
Wait, say that again with more passion, baby.
More gusto, bro.
Let's hear it.
I was trying to. Okay, all right. I was trying to.
B-boy. All right.
Because the reason was I was trying to remember it. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
couldn't say it with as
All right,
much
here we go.
passion.
And he's in.
And now I'm in. Look at that. Can't keep me away. All right, so oh man, I have to compose myself. Set the scene. Someone give me some energy.
All right. You're in the
Energy.
gym.
Oh, I'm in the
Your
gym.
mate's there.
You're Arnold.
Okay, I'm wasting time now. All right, so be yourself, because the people that matter don't mind, and the people that mind don't matter. How's that?
There you go.
Much better.
Wow.
There you go.
And we out.
That is a good
remember,
one.
put your comments. I love Jar. All right. If you want to see more of Jar, just put it in the comments so he knows. All right. Anybody got their thing that they want to say?
Damn, is it really
I
like
feel like, yeah.
Okay,
corny and easy one? But honestly, I'll say
Just do it, bro. You corny.
in
You
saying
know
with-
it, bro.
in
You are
saying
a
with-
cheesy
Yeah,
boy.
in saying with the season and everything, appreciate your friends while they're still here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like seriously, like
There
like,
you go.
If you want to do something, do something. You want to go out, go out. Don't like add so much fluff to it. Like, oh, what if they say no? What if they say yes? What if like there's so much? Just do it. And honestly, like I appreciate. Oh, that's another green flag. Friends that are like
Green frag.
like a friend that's spontaneous
Ooh,
and just
yeah.
does it. You know what I mean? Like let's do it now and just. It keeps life spicy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like be that spice in the
He likes
relationship.
that hot pot.
Don't keep it bland. Yeah, don't keep it bland. Don't keep it quiet. Make it loud, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
Loud and proud.
Yeah, I feel like just don't hold back in friendships. As in, like, yeah, I guess kind of the same. But sometimes, like, I feel like there are some like cringy moments that I'm glad that I had.
Yep.
Like Ethan said, like I'm glad that I had that, and
Yep.
like embrace your friends, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Even if it's awkward.
Even if it's
Even if it's
awkward.
weird.
I guess for me, it's just a nice little thing. It's just have a look at the people around you. Do they energize you or do they pull you down? You know, like, do they make you feel like you can be yourself or do they make you feel like you got to be someone else? Like, just have a look. And I guess if you do really think that, you know, there are people out there that is in your circle at the moment that are pulling you down, I wouldn't say like run away and give up, but like have a conversation, see what you can change to make it better
Yeah.
for you and them. You know, that so that you can have a friendship that encourages one another and grows one another and
Yeah.
pushes one another. Because at the end of the day, it's cool to have a lot of friends, but if they don't add any value to you or they're not supporting you or you're not being able to help them and you're not growing together, then you're going to end up being stuck and you might end up hurting each other even more.
Yeah.
And you might be hurting yourself eventually, you know,
Yeah.
you miss out on all the things that God may have planned in your life or
Yeah.
that you want to do for yourself. You know?
Yeah, that's so
because you
good.
become so worried about the people around you that
Yeah.
you suppress who you are. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We kind of went crazy a little bit. You saw Passionate Nick come out a little bit. You saw glimpses of Jar. But like I said, if you do love Jar, you want to see more Jar, make sure you let him know by saying, I love Jar. But I hope you guys enjoyed
Nick
this.
is really concerned about Jara right now.
I'm being a green flag friend. All right.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, but as always, we appreciate you guys making it to this part of the video if you do. But if you enjoyed today's episode and you love seeing Ethan back again, but yeah, just drop us a like, drop a comment if you feel like it, or DM us if you want. If not, stay fresh. Have a good Thanksgiving or Christmas or wherever you are in this world right now, or whenever this episode comes out.
Good Christmas,
confused.
4th of July, Halloween, wherever you are in the world. And
Chinese
time.
New Year, like 2023. All right, cool. All right, thanks guys. Peace.
Yeah, stay
See ya.
fresh.